I grew up in the small yet beautiful town of Golden, Colorado. Being one of the whitest places to live in the state, I was one of the only Asians in my entire school. Seeing as I'm also adopted, being surrounded by white people is all I've really ever known. Despite this, I had a very strong, stereotypically Asian mindset regarding school. Not to toot my own horn, but I would say I was a gifted child. I started my educational days at the ripe young age of 3.
How old are you?
3.
Yeah, 3. You're not supposed to be riding a bike yet.
A cute little preschool that doubled as a church on Sundays. During playtime, I remember sitting in the corner to read, and during nap time, I remember telling my teacher, "I don't nap anymore," and sitting in the corner to read. I'm not entirely sure if I was actually reading the words on the page, but I was certainly sitting there staring at books whenever I could get my little hands on them. Kindergarten started when I was only 4 years old. Since my birthday is at the end of August, my parents had the choice to push me forward or hold me back. I don't think they could have held me back if they tried. I was eager for a formal education. There was also the choice of half days or full days for kindergartners. I have a very vivid memory of my mom asking me what I wanted to do, and me insisting on full days, and questioning why anyone would ever want anything different. Thus began my days at Shelton Elementary. The school didn't have a gifted and talented program, but it did have advanced learning plans, which I got on quite early. Looking back and comparing my experience with an ALP compared to my friends who are in GT programs, I feel very fortunate. There's lots of talk I've seen recently about gifted kids regarding gifted kid burnout, where the children are placed under too much pressure to perform well, resulting in giving up, or the opposing side, where they don't get enough mental stimulation and grow bored, resulting in giving up. Somehow, I think I've managed to walk that fine line and continue to love school and learning to this day. I had a reading ALP and a quantitative math ALP, which on paper talks about how great I should be with math, but teachers pulled my mom aside and told me that wasn't my gift. Instead, I was advanced in something like thinking and logic, which was rare for children my age, so they didn't even have a category to place me in. Due to my ALPs throughout elementary school, I was always a grade ahead in math and 2 grades ahead in reading. What this meant in terms of my ALP is that me and a few other kids from my class would go to the teacher a grade above us for just those classes. The rest of the day, we were just like everybody else in our class. Sure, it felt special to be one of the 5 picked out to go to the big kids hall for a couple hours, but it wasn't like I was some pariah. The other kids in my class saw me the same as them, just maybe a little faster at reading.
Where are you going?
But that didn't necessarily mean I was better than them or different, just a better candidate to be picked on for popcorn reading. On the other hand, schools with gifted and talented programs, where kids need to test to even get in, results in an entire class of GT kids completely separated from the rest of the school, forever labeled as a GT kid. I feel like that label puts a lot of pressure on children who also, considering their academic talents, should be spending time with all of their peers in a non-educationally segregated fashion. Academics are not the only area a kid should be developing. Since I never really had or placed that GT label on myself, I don't think I had as much of that pressure to succeed. If anything, the pressure came from myself. Any outside pressure was just noise. My parents definitely cared about my grades, but they never had to police them for me. They actually probably had to tell me to relax a few times. I wanted perfect marks on everything and did the work myself to get them. And since I'm the youngest in my family by a minimum of 6 years, I never had to worry about being mentally understimulated. I feel quite fortunate and think the best way to show my gratitude is by continuing on this trek to its fullest extent.